things to help you live your best life now, because guess what? Tomorrow is not promised. And my guest, Kathy Connor, did just that. She is living her best life, and she took her pain and turned it into her purpose, and she took her misery and turned it into her message. So please welcome our guest, Catherine Connor, to the show.
Hi, everyone.
So thank you for being on the show. This is my instructor. She's my friend. I feel like she's like my sister from another mister. And we were just before the show talking about how we met. But I feel like this is a divine lifetime connection. So Kathy, tell the audience a little bit about you.
Well, I'm born and bred in New York, and relocated to Miami back in 71 after graduation from high school.
Okay.
Went to Howard University.
Come on, Howard University.
University of Maryland, and got my first job in Virginia with Xerox Corporation, and then relocated down to Miami on my first cruise with my ex-husband.
Okay.
But that's how I got here.
Okay.
Is going on a cruise. And then I've been in Miami now for 40-something years.
40-something years.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about living our best lives, you know, we are the sunshine and rainbow girls. We are happy and flowers and sun. But every day for some people is not always sunshine. Sometimes it's rain. Sometimes it's pain. Sometimes it's hurt. And so I was asking you here today to hopefully shed some light on your pain that you turned into purpose. So can you tell us a little bit about your diagnosis, when it happened, all that stuff?
Okay. Well, coming to Miami was a whole new genre, a whole new life, what have you. Got married in 1981, and actually 1983. But before coming, just before my wedding, when life makes us changes, I had lost my father. He dropped dead 2 months before my wedding.
Wow.
And that was one of the major turnarounds, changes.
Yeah.
And then with the family history with the breast cancer, which is part of my whole transition to the dance of life. My mother had been diagnosed when I was 18.
Wow.
And she survived 12 years. Then my sister was diagnosed at age 47 in 93. And then I had two aunts that were also diagnosed. So the history is there.
Right.
And so putting that all together, when I came here in 1989, 1985, 85 or 84, but in 89 I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
And that was a major turning point. But I remembered back to how my mother had handled it. Because back then in the 70s, you just didn't talk about, you didn't even say the word.
Right,
you know,
right.
Cancer was
the C word.
The C word,
right.
And my mother used to say my condition, or the big C.
Oh, okay, my condition.
But she did not let that keep her from living her life to the fullest.
Okay.
She decided that she was going to go to college because she didn't have a chance to go when she was younger. And I was the last one to go into college. And so when she came out of her surgery, she said, this is what I want to do. So she went to college. She continued working as long as she could until she had the recurrence in different areas. And long story short, she graduated. And they named a African-American library in her honor.
Wow.
York College in New York. And the picture that we have of her graduation is very, very significant because she had her graduation garb on, everything, and she had her walker, but she was able to go across that stage and achieve her dream. So when I was diagnosed, the flashback was how my mother never stopped. She kept on going until she achieved her dream, until God decided to call her home. And that was part of my resilience, that I'm going to do whatever I have to do. As you said, tomorrow's not promised. It's not guaranteed.
And so you had an example in your mom how to press through. So tell me, because you had that history, did you have to like get mammograms early?
Well, the first time first lump was found on me was when I was in college.
Wow.
After my mother had been diagnosed. And again, back then it was like, hush, hush, you didn't talk about it. And he said, oh, probably nothing, probably lumpy breast, let's keep awareness. In 1989, when I was diagnosed, my mom said that she had found something strange, but she never said what it was.
Right.
So when I was 30 years old, I was going to the doctor for my regular annual checkup. And I asked them at that time, I said, what about this mammogram something test that you have?
Wow.
Should I get that? And they said, oh, no, you don't have to worry about that. You're too young. You're too young. But, and this is what I usually talk about when I teach the patient education, know your history, know your body.
Yes.
And I knew my family history, as I stated.
Right.
My mother and my 2 aunts. Wasn't my sister yet, but my mother and my 2 aunts, and all of them had already passed. And I said, well, my mother had breast cancer, my aunts had breast cancer, so what is this mammogram thing? And they told me that, well, to give you peace of mind, we'll go ahead and do the mammogram at age 30, because I asked and I insisted.
Right.
And 5 years later, age 35, bingo. I was diagnosed.
So from age 30 to 35, were you getting a mammogram every
Just
year?
the one.
Just the one?
That was the baseline. That was the baseline, because they weren't going to do anything if I hadn't insisted.
Right.
But at age 35, I was diagnosed. So after that, it became turmoil.
Yes.
And I never missed a day of work.
Wow.
Because I would have my treatments on Thursday or Friday, go home on the weekends, recover, and come back to work on Monday.
Wow.
And I was tired, what have you, but I just wanted to keep on living.
Right.
And at the end of the treatments, 1990, things were crazy at Jackson, and we talk about transition.
Yes.
And I said, God, if you allow me to live, let me know where to go, because I can't stay here in this stress.
Right.
And it was stressful to a point where my doctors, my oncologists saying, what's going on? Who are you working for? You're doing so well. Do you know that they're trying to kill you slowly?
Oh my goodness. The doctors said they were trying to kill you?
Slowly. Wow. Because of the stress.
Because of the stress, right.
And an environment. And that's when I had to make a decision to stay or leave or just totally depend on God. And he allowed me to leave.
Right.
And he provided ups and downs. But a year later, they found another lump.
Wow.
And when they found the other lump on the right side, that's when I definitely said, God, if you're going to let me live, let me know what I need to do. But I got to get out of here, which I did. And it was benign. But that's part of, the monitoring. And then that started my whole new life in a whole new direction as independent. I was Mary Kay for a while. I was a director, I had the car. And Mary Kay's influence was because she was very involved with women's health.
Yes.
And she was a very big promoter of breast cancer. And that's what impressed me about that. And that started the
new life. Mm-hmm. And so the reason why that question is so important, because as women, we will stay in situations. We dare I say, we have a need sometimes to please everybody else except for ourselves. Yes. And so the reason why I feel like your process is so important is because sometimes you have to leave things behind. Yes. And sometimes that is hard. Right. You had to leave a job behind. I'm sure you had friends on that job. You had the way you did things, how you go to work, what you eat, where you spend your lunchtime and things. So you get into habits. And so sometimes it's hard to leave that. Yeah. So thank you for sharing how you transitioned. And so as you transitioned, you did Mary Kay and then you did some other things. So when did you do the Dance of Life? So she has a nonprofit, the Dance of Life.
Okay, let me sort of backtrack and lead back up, because you said all the different challenges we have. One of the major challenges was that in the year before my diagnosis, 1988, I was pregnant with my first child. Wow. And perfect pregnancy, everything was going well. And then 2 weeks before the due date, I noticed something different. Again, listen to my body. Right. The movements had stopped. Long story short, I was rushed to the hospital, Mercy, and they did a full checkup, and I was told that it was stillborn. Oh, no. And I went through full labor, induced labor. And the one thing that I look back at that time, even to this day, I was still expecting to hear the cry, which didn't come.
Right.
And that was emotionally a block. I mean, I woke up every day for 8 days crying until I couldn't cry anymore.
Of course.
And then finally get myself together. Well, a year later, when I'm going back to find out about getting pregnant, is when they found the lump.
Oh my goodness! So lump number 3.
Mm-hmm. No. This is the first one. I said.
Oh, the first one. Yeah. Oh, the first one. Okay, right. The first one. But you
backtracking. Okay. That's when they found the lump. That's when I was diagnosed with cancer after the loss of my child. Wow. So there was 2 major things.
Wow.
And then the craziness at my job, when I said, "God, leave me," and then I left, and from there, I got involved with the American Cancer Society. Yes. And I think I remember someplace in the questions about how did you get involved with Seeking the Passion?
Yes.
While I was at the hospital, they have a program called the Beast Recovery Program.
Okay.
Where survivors come to meet with a survivor in the hospital, talk with them. They bring you a little care pillow. That's where the whole care pillow comes together. And let you know how you can get through it because they've been there. It's so important.
Yes.
And when she left, in the hospital before I left, I said, God, if you're going to allow me to live, I want to do what that person is doing. I said it in the hospital. And when I was released, finished my chemo, in January of 90, I'd finished. I walked to American Cancer Society, said, I want to be what that person was. So that's what it started.
Yes. Yeah. And so as you're saying, you went through some tough thing back to back, but it also made you look at the rest of your life. Like, what do I do now? How do I make the best use of my life? How do I use the gifts that I have? And you saw something and you said, that is what I want to do.
Yes.
And so that is what I want to do is helping us today. You're still doing it today. So tell us a little bit about the classes you teach. Like, you are now teaching cancer patients, cancer thrivers. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Before going to that point, because the Dance of Life sort of came around before actually teaching the classes.
Oh, okay.
You had asked about how to get that passion.
Yes.
Well, in 1994, 1995, I was very, very involved with the American Cancer Society as a volunteer doing everything. And I was on the committee for Making Strides for Breast Cancer, big walk. And this particular meeting, they were talking about what can we do as survivors that can be really impactful or different, because it's all about survivors. When I left from that meeting, I was on my way home in the car, and I was listening to radio and heard the song Hero by Mariah Carey.
Yes.
And there were some specific words in that song that triggered my desire to use the dance. Said, I know you will survive. Yes. And I went home and I listened to the music over and over and over and over again, and it ministered to my spirit. And as God would have it, he said, this is going to be your theme.
I love it.
And when I presented it to the committee, when I went back, I said, I would like to dedicate a dance in honor of survivors called the Dance of Life. And that's how
literally you got the nonprofit. I love it. And so as you doing all this, because sometimes when you decide that I am going left, I've been going right all this time. Now I am going left. So did you have people that were like your cheerleader? Did you tell anybody? Okay.
Well, when I did the first presentations, it was at another walkathon for American Cancer Society. There was over 1,000 people.
Wow.
Didn't expect it, And from then, it just mushroomed. And people calling all over, can you come here, whatever. I became a member on the National Cancer Survivors Day directory. I've been on there, 30-something years now.
Wow.
And I've gotten calls around the United States to come perform and share the story.
It's an amazing
the Caribbean,
story.
The Bahamas. And that's how all of this developed, by going out and just sharing the story. But at the same time, the teaching. As a breast health educator for the American Cancer Society at the time, teaching breast health education, the prevention of which, taking care of your body. So between the education, which has always been my great love, and the dancing, and leading to teaching the exercise classes, right now I'm in my prime. It's challenges at time, but I'm doing exactly what I love to do, and I have a passion.
Can I just tell you all that she is passionate about it. She loves it, and it comes across in how you teach. It's like, wow, I love this. The way she says things and the way you tell us to move. And we like, well, we can't do that. And you say, yes, you can. Move further. And we like, oh my gosh, my back is going to give out. But because of your confidence in us, it makes us do things that we never thought we could do. So before we go into the next question, I'm always the research girl. Good. So I did my research because I would say, I've heard some people tell us dancing is bad. Dancing is bad. It's not good. It's not good to dance. But I have found there are many benefits of dancing, like losing weight, lowering blood pressure, improving flexibility, balance, coordination. It helps your memory as you're thinking about the different moves. It's boosting your memory. It is strengthening muscles. It reduces stress. It increases mood and happiness. I promise you, we may coming in not as happy, but by the time we leave that class, we are like chatty, happy. It helps build community. Exactly. We have met people in different walks of life. I have seen people self-esteem, like you'll say, sit up, like you may be bent up. Get those backs. Sit up. And so I've seen people's self-esteem increase. We even have someone in our class with special needs. I've even seen her blossom and now talk to people. And so I feel almost like it's family. If someone is missing, we're like, where's so-and-so? So maybe you never thought about all these things, but you are really changing lives. I have been a recipient. I have experienced it. And so tell us a little bit about your I've seen the Dance of Life. I loved it. Hey, she can even do a full split. Are you still she's still doing the split? Do you want to tell them how old you are?
Yes, I am 72 years blessed.
She is 72 years blessed. And she still does a full split. So that's amazing within itself. So tell us about some of the classes. Do you teach dance, or you just do your Dance of Life?
My Dance of Life is an actual presentation of dance. Yes. But my teaching primarily has been narrowed down to the Pilates, the stretch relaxation, which is slower pace. When I first started with Baptist, which is like 19 years. Started as a dance therapist at South Miami Hospital, working with cancer patients, and then it sort of branched out from there when they had these community health classes. They had instructors. I was teaching dance aerobics. I was teaching the stretch and flexibility, the more active. But as we mature, again, listening to the body, the jumping, the bouncing around, that I began to taper down for, I was in 2 car accidents in 2010, 4 months apart. And when I went to the chiropractor for the first time ever, they invited me and they said, we'll do an analysis and tell you, what's going on, and then you can decide if you want to continue. And 4 months of pain therapy. When I went to the chiropractor and they did an analysis of my back, there was all this red stuff up and down, showing I had a lot of major damage to my back. And due to my physical activity, the flexibility, that helped in my recovery. But I had to modify. And I'm also a fish. I'm fish. I love the water. And the water exercise, which I cannot emphasize enough. And because you've experienced, aqua therapy, especially for mature bodies, is very, very good because it's less stress on the joints, but it gets you to stretch and get your strength and what have you. So putting all that together, now my dance technique comes through the stretching and the Pilates. It's a slower pace. You do work out, You do get some strength and
Yes,
endurance. You know, it's not jumping up and down. It's not Zumba. It's not that aerobic type.
Yes.
But it's the type that develops the whole body, mind, and spirit at the same time of allowing you to be able to move freely. Because as you know, most of the people in my classes are seniors.
Yes.
The average age 60 and 70. The oldest one in one of my LA Fitness classes is 85 years old.
Wow.
And reason why I love working with seniors, because I'm a senior.
Right.
They appreciate because I'm a senior.
Yes,
I'm not
we
a little
do.
20-year-old, jumping
Yes,
up and down.
we
So do this. And I could appreciate. That's why I openly share what I'm going through, because I understand half the people come, either the back, the knees, the joints,
It's
whatever. Something's going on.
Everybody has something.
And I know. And I can share with them.
I love how you say the mind, body, and spirit connection. So it's not just a class. It's not just an exercise. And what do we call that? Taking it to paradise? Take me to paradise.
Go to paradise at the end. The meditation.
The meditation. So before we start the class, you'll talk a little bit, and then we are ready to go to paradise, because most of the time people come in there with something. Something has happened. Life is lifing. Something hurts. So the take me to paradise, the mind body connect, it helps you get ready for the mind body connection. And that also helps us to get into the mood to do things that we don't think that we can do. And so we love that part. Where did that come? Has that always been in all of your classes?
When I started teaching the Pilates through postdocs in my training, and the emphasis through the postdocs training, which is one of the top training Pilates training programs in the world. And they talked about the mind, the body, the spirit, the connection. Yes. And this is not just about physical, but it's about the mental. It is. About having to release the stress and tension through movement.
Yes.
And saying movement, the first principle, I remember the director saying, breathing facilitates movement. Yes. Movement facilitates breathing. And then I added on that breathing facilitates, that means life. Yes. So every time you breathe, you move, you're enhancing your life. Yes. And when we do the stretching, what have you, at the end is the mental relaxation, which again, as you experience, the people come in here. Yes, stuff. We're tight. And we're living in a crazy world, very crazy world now, and that people need to be able to release and relax, and also realize you can't control what goes out there in the world. We can't. Right. We can only control how we choose to respond or react. Right. So this time right now is your time. It's your time. Take care. And so a lot of times I will say, as moms, as grandmas, as workers, some are still working, it's like we try to squeeze in something for ourselves. So another thing I love about what you teach us is take this time, you shut out she tells us turn our phones off, turn your watch off, and it's like that is just our time. Another thing I love about the breath is sometimes when we feel like we're too tight or we can't bend, and you'll say breathe into the stretch. And then you say you were cheating on me because you were not stretching as far as you could. Who knew that breathing into the muscle or taking a breath made you go a little bit further? So let me just say, you're the health educator, you're the advocate, you're the encourager, you're the coach, you're all of that. She's the pusher. She makes us go. And then she also tells us about other things, like you had us walking in American Cancer Walk. You also have the Christmas and Thanksgiving the walk challenge. So she is challenging us to get up and move. And so tell us some of the classes that you teach. Well, starting with Baptist was the main starting point of getting into the community classes. Okay. Right now, I only have, let me back up. I have the class that you take on Monday, which is at the Palmetto Bay Park, which is a senior chair stretch class. Okay. 10:30 and 11:45. 11:45. Okay. And these are free classes. Free. I asked people how many people could afford free. Okay. Think about it. Then for Miami Cancer Institute through Baptist, I have a class, three classes there. Wednesday morning is a gentle mat stretch. Okay. Wednesday afternoon is a gentle stretch and strength mat. And then on Friday at 11 is a chair stretch, similar to what I have on Monday. Those are all Baptist classes.
Okay.
Then the town of Cutler Bay, as an independent contractor instructor, I have a chair Pilates, which is on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Is
at
that
the
1?
Cutler, yeah, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
That's at the Cutler Bay Center.
Yes.
In by Southland, Cutler Ridge. And then now LA Fitness is a transition.
Yes.
Because the South Dade location officially closed down.
Okay.
So the only classes I have at this point, I have a Pilates class at 4:30 on a Tuesday, and then I have my Aquafit, my favorite.
That's my favorite.
On Tuesdays and Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock is Aquafit.
At LA
Fitness down at Southland.
Southland, okay.
And waiting now for the transition of the other classes. I may start teaching at the Zoo, 152nd.
Oh, awesome.
On this Saturday, but that's still pending come the new year.
Okay, so the Baptist classes are free.
All free.
For seniors.
For seniors.
And then the MCI Baptist is for cancer patients
caretakers.
and caregivers.
Yeah.
Okay, caregivers and cancer patients.
Right.
And then LA Fitness, of course, is open to whoever has a membership.
Right.
And some seniors go free with like silver sneakers.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like that. So you have to check your insurance and see if you can do that. Mm-hmm. So before we leave, we have to have you do some stretching. We have to do a little something. But before we do that, is there anything else that you want us to know?
As I always share in class with the little mini meditation is that tomorrow's not promised, it's not guaranteed.
Right.
Make every moment count.
Right.
Think of all of the God-given gifts, talents, and abilities that you have been blessed with to be a blessing to others, to make a difference in the world, to change the world, to make this world a better place because you are in it. And I remind everyone that you are important. You are special.
Yes.
You have something to offer. And to breathe, because breath means life.
Breath is life.
And life is short.
And
so live your dream and live your passion. And that's where I am now. And wherever God is going to lead me, I'm just trying to follow.
That's right. So as we are letting God lead Kathy, we will let her lead us. And let's do a little stretch. And what I love about her stretchings is that you can sit in a chair. You can do them at home. It's not, like you said, it's not heavy on the body, not heavy on the knees and the feet and stuff like that. So let's do a couple of moves. Give us something we can do at home.
All right. So usually when we start out with the class, you're sitting with the feet slightly forward. Let's just place our hands here. Right. Very, very simple moves. So we take that deep breath and stretch back. And just open the arms and bring it back down. And the key is in the breathing. And again, inhale, big stretch back. And bring it down. Now lift the arms out to the sides, okay, and lean over the side so we'll go over the
over my
just stretch and hold. And so we won't hit the microphone. We'll just cross here and stretch and hold. And again, one more stretching over. Hold, breathe, and come over. Cross here, over. And bring it back down. Now, that's just primarily for the upper body, the head, neck, and shoulders. We'll just do a little bit with the legs. Let's grab hold under the knee and just pull into the chest. Hold.
I want to take my shoes off.
And lower down. You can if you like. Okay, and the other one. Stretch and hold. Good. And bring it down. Now I have a nice little challenge. We're going to pull and stretch and hold. We're going to flex that foot to stretch here. We're not going to kick. We're going to stretch the C-bar. Yes, breathe, breathe. And pull back in and lower down. Opposite side. And pull and just hold. Flex. Stretch up, hold, and breathe. Pull in and bring it down. And just open and close nice and easy. Okay, because this, again, is a very restricted environment, but you can still move comfortably.
And it helps your hips.
And from here, slowly massage down towards the ankles at the body. Let me just take this off so it won't make so much noise. And just hold and breathe. Place the hands behind the ankles to massage back up. Rotate around, inhale, And one more, fold over. And this is really very good for the backs if you're having issues. Just holding and breathe into the stretch. And slowly come up. Rotate shoulders last for head, neck, and shoulders. Chin to chest. Deep breathe, lift. Head over towards the right shoulder.
All right.
And over towards the left. And back to the center. Chin to chest. Lift up. I'm going to turn towards the left. Look over that shoulder. And opposite side. And last, chin to chest. From here, rotate half circle over towards the right.
Oh.
And rotate half circle over to the left.
In paradise. I can't get my right or left.
That's okay. Deep breathe, lifting up. And bring the chin back down towards the chest. Sit comfortably into the chair. Let the arms place by the sides. And just for 30 seconds, release, relax, let go. Deep breathe in and deep breathe out. Any residual tension, tightness, stiffness, or any kinks you feel throughout the body, just let it go. And breathe. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Deep breathe in. Deep breathe out. And as I stated in the previous part, this is the time to try to release all the negative energy from your mind, all that stuff floating around that's trying to invade your peace, your joy, your calm and serenity. This is your time for you to take charge of your health and your mind, body, and spirit. And think of uplifting, encouraging, positive thoughts, including the fruit of the Spirit, the love, peace, patience, joy, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control, plus more. Resilience, perseverance, forgiveness, generosity, a loving, giving spirit. And most of all, what's needed in the world today more than ever is hope and love. Love is the answer. Love will conquer all. Love is the purpose that God has sent His Son during this holiday season. He pours His love into us, through us, for others. And when we share with others, that can lead to your internal peace, outer peace, and ultimately world peace. So take a few final moments to breathe, reflect, relax, let go, and just be.
Amen.
And
love
now, big stretch, and you know that love hug. Pull in,
so
give yourself a wonderful love
and you
hug.
can kiss yourself.
Kiss yourself. And we have to this share.
Love your peace.
Okay.
Love.
Share that love with the world. Be a light in the midst of the darkness, and be that eye in the midst of the storm.
So that is our guest, Catherine Connor. You can catch you on Facebook, Catherine Connor.
Catherine Roach Connor.
Catherine Roach Connor on Facebook and Cat Roach Con on Instagram, I think.
Oh, yeah. I hardly ever go to Instagram. However they find it, yeah.
She's on Instagram. She's on Facebook. If you are a senior, come and join us Mondays in Palmetto Bay or in Cutler Bay or MCI.
Yeah, MCI. That's yeah.
But remember, your life is a gift. Use what you have to make life better for others. I'm your host, Dr. Carolyn Edwards, and this is Get Your Life. Until next time.